Michelle from Best Friends LA. Welcome. It's KROQ to the rescue. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You guys, we're going to make this fast and short because we want to get to some really cool things regarding your rescue pets. Michelle, I want to ask you first, how has the COVID-19, like the pandemic, all of this affected your rescue?
You know, it's been really interesting, Kat, because I think one of the few good things to come out of this crisis is that we have a massive amount of pets in foster, more than we've ever had in the 7 years I've been with Best Friends. And that's not just in LA, it's across the country at Best Friends centers and shelters. I'm sure you've seen videos of shelters with empty kennels and everyone clapping. It's been incredible.
What is silver lining to all of this? Like,
right?
You know, I've been saying people's biggest excuse is they're not home enough. And now it's like, well, you're home enough now. So yeah, I love it.
Exactly. It's kind of been the weird perfect storm because animal welfare has wanted people to bring pets home and have them in foster rather than a shelter forever. And it's just for some reason, this was like the perfect opportunity for it, unfortunately, but it is a positive for the pets.
Let's talk about your ideas of to prepare just in case, like, you know, someone gets sick. Like, we should be thinking about who's going to take care of our pets, what they're going to need, all of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So Best Friends has a pet preparedness plan online at bestfriends.org, where we basically suggest that you have 2 weeks of supplies like you would for a fire or an earthquake. So if you have a cat, that means food and litter. And if you have a dog, that means food and treats. And also any medications that they're on, you definitely want to have a supply of those. And then you want to have a list of their routine, any kind of special needs that they have, if they have medication, what time they get them. And then if you have someone in the home with you, you need to assign them the task of caring for that pet should you get sick. And if you live alone, you really need to find somebody outside the home who is willing to take your pet in for you and then give them all of that information. So if you go to bestfriends.org, you can find that plan.
Fantastic.
It's very helpful.
And it's good practice for anything. It really is good to have those people in place and, you know, and letting them know like the little quirks, like something they may be afraid of or, you know, that freaks them out. Like, it's always good to have that inside information. So I love that.
Yeah, so if your pet, any kind of quirks your pet has or has some fun likes or dislikes, definitely put that on your plan. The more info, the better.
Okay, now this is going to be a big one because eventually we're going to get back to whatever the new normal is. We're going to be, you know, out, you know, when it's deemed safe to do so. So we're going to be leaving the house. I mean, I've been saying right now, like my pets, like they're so sick of me. Like, look at this. Hold on.
Right.
It's like they're so like you never thought your animals would ever get sick of you. So over it. Like,
oh my God.
This is Blue Man. He's so like he's so over it. He's just like, oh, go.
Please go, Mom. Go out.
Okay. So what are we gonna do to, you know, the people underestimate anxiety in animals and what it can do, and it really instills panic. I've seen, you know, floorboards chewed and doors broken, and that's the high end anxiety. You know, at the high end, it's like howling and whining and stuff. So what are your thoughts on preparing your pets for the eventual, you know, leaving the house?
Sure. So what you want to do is just get them used to you leaving now. And you can take short trips. You can just stand outside the door for a minute to start. If your pet's really anxious, you could go outside and just increase that time, like 10, 15 minutes, maybe go for an hour. If you have anywhere to go for an hour or two. And then, you know, a lot of people might not be going back to work the same time you are. So maybe look at hiring a dog walker if you have a dog, or a neighbor who may be able to help you out. And with cats, cats are a little bit different because of course they don't need to go outside and that kind of thing, but some of them do get a little anxious sometimes. So what you want to do is just make sure you get their energy out. You play with a wand toy with them, throw a little ball, whatever they're into, so they can kind of get their yayas out and not have so much energy while you're gone.
Right.
And then also you have your pets on a feeding schedule. Say you're feeding them 4 times a day now because you can. just shorten that to whatever your routine would be, and try to make it based on that same time.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people who are also fostering and new adopters, you know, they're going to learn a lot during that time about their pets, and they may be great, but they may suffer anxiety issues when you leave the house. Like, you just don't know. Like, one of mine did, and I could hear him howling, and I was like, oh no, but you know, keep doing it, you know, and then they get over it. So it's good. It's perfect.
Yeah, and if you can always look online and find a professional trainer and have them consult with you, because every pet is unique and may have different kinds of triggers. I think another thing you want to do with your dogs is probably put them in like the calmest area of the house while you're gone. If if they get triggered by noise and traffic and that kind of thing, and maybe make a nice little kind of like 4th of July, if you will, you know, you want to just kind of keep them calm and mellow and have their favorite things in there, and reward them when you come, you know, when you come back in, and just make sure that they're very comfortable, and hopefully they'll get used to it eventually.
Put some tunes
like
on,
everybody
put
else.
some nice tunes on to block out the outside, you know.
Yeah, maybe not metallic.
No. I'm thinking more like classical or something. A little classical is always good for animals, I find.
Yeah, I do that. That and like yoga music.
Exactly, some chill. I want to talk to you about Best Friends LA. You know, during the normal living, it's always been, you know, dropping off supplies for donations like food and, you know, toys and beds and all of that stuff. But since, you know, you're really running, you know, the animals are kind of out there already, and your home base is not so full right now. What do you need in terms of donations at this point?
Well, we can always use funds. So if you're in a position to donate money, you can go to bestfriendsla.org and do so. We can also use people's help behind the scenes. Like, we have a lot of volunteers that are helping with virtual type work, like setting up foster to adopt appointments or helping out with paperwork and that kind of thing. There's also on bestfriendsla.org, there's a COVID-19 resource page of other groups in Los Angeles who have been affected by this crisis and what their specific needs are. Like, right now, we're really solid on fosters, and we're getting more inquiries than we have pets to actually foster out.
That's great.
But there's other groups. I know, it's the quality problem, right? But if you go to bestfriendsla.org and click on the COVID-19 resource page, you'll see that there's a lot of groups in Los Angeles that still actually need some foster help or possibly volunteer help. So, you know, and hopefully when we open up again, people will be compelled or have time to volunteer, and I don't know, when this thing gets back to normal, it'll be interesting.
I think a lot of people are going to realize that initially bringing an animal home is like, it's like that initial like panic, like, oh my God, my house, like, you know, all that. But it goes away so fast. And then you realize that it's really not a big deal. It's not all of those things you were afraid of. Like, your life is going to change and your schedule and go away and all these things. And you realize, like, wait a minute. All of the little tiny changes I have to make to have a little furry at home, you know, are so small compared to all of the great stuff you get back, like the mental health, the fun, the company, the like laughs you get for having an animal at home.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of adjustment when you bring a new pet home, but we've all had the time and the focus to be able to do that. So if you have a pet that you're fostering and you're in a position to adopt, now would be a fantastic time to do that. Or if what we're doing at the center is we have a lot of fosters who are doing virtual meet and greets with potential adopters.
That's great.
And that's really cool, because once they get adopted, if there's another pet that needs foster, they can go into that home. So there's, and, you know, I've had dogs for the last 20 years, and it is a little bit of an adjustment, but the reward is so intense. It's like they're your best friends, they're always happy to see you. And sometimes people think like, oh, my place is too small or I don't have enough time. Let me tell you, your home, no matter how small it is or how little time you have, is better than a shelter, and they'll be happy to be with you.
Exactly.
And again, another blessing of this crisis has been hopefully that we're getting to know our neighbors a little bit better, and hopefully we can help each other out with things like checking in on your cat or walking your dog, or, you know, there's always ways that you can work around it, and the reward is just so beautiful.
It is. And wait, I want to introduce you, because you know this one, my little senior terror. This is the one.
I love
this. Is Wolfie that I adopted.
So cute.
I adopted through Best Friends LA a year ago.
I love him. I love his tube.
Yeah, he's about 10, and he's been with us for a year, and he has tons of energy, except for not right now because he's in his post-breakfast nap phase, and I just woke him up.
Right.
Sorry, bud.
His little food coma.
I want to talk about one
I'll introduce
that's out there.
Okay.
You know, there's been that, like, the tiger in New York tested positive for COVID, and I think there were, like, you know, a couple cats that came up. What do you say about worries when it comes to that?
Well, so far there's only been 2 cats in New York that have tested positive for COVID. And what I would say is that they clearly got it from a human that was sick, mm-hmm. and that you really shouldn't be concerned about getting COVID from a pet, because there's 80 million dogs and like 85 million cats in American homes. And if only 2 have popped up so far, I'd say those are pretty good odds. Yeah. And if you do, you know, just keep your pets separated. If there's someone sick in the home, just practice the same social distancing that you would if you were living with another human. And then when you're out and about, and this is really hard for me, just don't pet strange dogs or let people pet your dogs when you're out and about, because you never know, and you just want to keep transmission risk really low. So, but I mean, really, there's no need to panic. You can always go on the CDC website and check and see if there's any more cases of pets getting or giving COVID. There have been no cases of pets giving COVID to anybody, just getting it to cats.
Well, like I said, anybody who's panicking, it's like the odds are there's like been 2 cats out of all
exactly.
of them. So everybody.
Hey, I wanted to introduce you to my Louie dog. Is that okay?
Yes, let's see him.
He is also from NKLA. He's very lazy, but he wore a bow tie because he knew he would see you.
Hi, Louie dog.
Yeah, my coworkers are super lazy cat.
Yeah, I have the same problem. Trust me. They're all out. I call the outside the sauna. That's where they are right now. So I have 3. Right. I have 3 lazy coworkers with 4 legs, 5 eyes.
They're the best.
Michelle, thank you so much for doing this Instagram live. You know, with KROQ to the rescue, we really just trying to spread the word that, you know, to adopt, don't shop, and just realize like how amazing, you know, animals are, that, you know, you do not need to be buying them. And this is a perfect time to take that leap of, if you've wanted one, you never had the time, or you don't think you have the space, you have the space. If you have space, you have the space, regardless of how small it is. And you guys certainly are so amazing with matching people up. You're doing the Zoom meetings, you know, you're doing the personality, you know, checks and balances. And so thank you. Thanks. I'm so glad to hear this.
Thank you.
So glad to hear.
Thanks for having me on today, and thanks for all you do to help homeless pets in LA and across the country. You're awesome. And, you know, we are in this together, and that includes our pets. So, and, you know, like you said, it's a great time, especially if you live alone and you're really looking for companionship. A pet will give you that and much, much more. It kind of gives you a reason to get up sometimes, you know, and this is a hard time. This is a hard time right now.
It is a hard time. I'm relying on them more than ever, which I sometimes stop myself and I'm like, wow. Like, wow, what great therapy.
You love your friends.
Yeah. So.
Right, I know. They're the best, and you're the best too. It's great to see your face and hear your voice, and thanks again for all you do, Kat. You're awesome.
Thank you, Michelle from Best Friends LA. We have the links up, we've tweeted, and we will post this again via KROQ.com and all of that good stuff. So thanks for logging on to KROQ to the rescue. Michelle, we'll talk to you later.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too. All right, you guys. See you later. Thanks for joining us. I have to go pass out treats or something. I don't know.
Pet dogs. It's important.
Bye, guys.